But I wanted to start off with probably the biggest story, which is the fact that it looks like we're out of the race for Calafiori. Now, it doesn't look like we're even in the race, being quite honest with you. You know, you've seen Fabrizio Romano, Di Marzio speaking about the very latest on Riccardo Calafiori, and it looks like it is Arsenal who are in the box seat right now. In fact, Fabrizio goes on to talk about the fact that it's Arsenal and Chelsea who are showing the real interest. Liverpool's name doesn't really come up in this conversation, so it does ask the question, what are we doing for the centre-back situation? Is it going to be Lacroix, who of course we'll discuss tonight? It looks like we aren't at the race for Calafiori. Arsenal in the box seat, according to Di Marzio and Fabrizio, and let me just read you through what they've both said. Di Marzio said, according to Di Marzio, Arsenal are in pole position to sign Riccardo Calafiori and are getting closer and closer to a deal. And then he questions, is this another missed opportunity? Then we have Fabrizio Romano kind of backing this up to say Arsenal have presented a long-term proposal to Riccardo Calafiori amid interest from other clubs. Fabrizio said he understands the players open to joining Arsenal if they can agree terms with Bologna, and Chelsea are still there as well. Now, interestingly, when you look at the Riccardo Calafiori situation with Arsenal, I didn't realise they have good relationships there from the Tomiyasu deal that was done between the clubs. So Arsenal do have an open line of communication there to Bologna, and that has probably helped them in this, because I remember speaking a while back about Jamie Carragher speaking to Michael Edwards, and he said one of the most important things in this whole industry of football is those relationships, and it seems Arsenal are going to capitalise on that relationship with Bologna. So no Calafiori now. Again, according to what's coming out of Italy, no. Now, I'm going to be honest and say, at least I'm going to not have to hold my hands up here, because I've told you guys all the way through, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what we're doing with our transfer business. I don't think anybody has. But Chelsea seem to have a never-ending supply of money, because they're at it again. And it doesn't seem like it's going to stop. Chelsea are just able to spend money, and they're in this race as well. They're in the race for Somerville. They're in the race for Nico Williams. I mean, at some point we're going to have to ask, are we going to get the finger out and get moving? So yes, your daily sob lover. No, it doesn't look like Calafiori. And I thought there might have been some truth to this link with us, because obviously Richard Hughes has extensive contacts and knowledge of the Italian game, but they obviously don't view Calafiori as the type of profile they'd like to bring into the club. Ian Cahill said, why don't we do a swap deal for Vandenberg and Riccardo Calafiori? I mean, it's not the most silly suggestion, Ian. We spoke about it on the channel a few times as well. Sepp Vandenberg does want to leave Liverpool. They do like Sepp Vandenberg. It must just be that Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards have looked at Calafiori and don't think that he's the right fit for Liverpool. I'm not here to say whether they are right or wrong. You know, ultimately, I don't mind as long as we get the reinforcements. My problem is that I worry we won't get them, and we'll be sold the vision of, you know, new contracts being as good as a new signing, or the future of Carvalho as an example, that he'll be sold as like a new signing. By Cecic coming back will be pitched to us as like a new signing. Do you know what else is like a new signing? A new signing. And I think we need at least 3 of them. So yes, it isn't a bad suggestion, Ian. It just doesn't seem to be one that is of interest to Liverpool at this moment in time, based off the reports coming out of Italy. And let's be honest, if there is a market that Fabrizio and Di Marzio would have good knowledge of, it certainly is that Italian market. And again, they're linking both Arsenal and Chelsea. Another thing about this is we don't really like to get drawn into bidding wars around these type of deals. Usually, if you look at the deals Edwards has done, we stealthily go in, get it done quickly and move on. I guess the only change in recent years was when we signed Luis Diaz, when Spurs were sniffing around there as well. So I get it. People are going to come in tonight and they're going to say, look guys, don't start panicking. It's all fine. Loads of time. And you're right. There's plenty of time left in this transfer window. But I'm again going to repeat that I don't really have faith in the owners to give the money to the manager. So I'm a little bit nervy. Other clubs are starting to get business done. You look at Arsenal, they're starting to look to get business done. Manchester City have already got one signing over the line in Savio, that guy from Girona. Then you've got Manchester United now looking to bring in Matthias de Ligt and a few others. Chelsea making signings, Villa making signings. We do have to get our finger out. And then Spurs have pulled off, in my opinion, one of the biggest signings of the window so far. And that is, of course, the young fella from Leeds, Archie Gray. That's a great signing for Spurs. And one I thought we could have been all over there. I think he's going to be a future star, maybe up there at the Bellingham Musiala level. It's yeah, it's a strange one. Let me know what you think on that one, because I'm genuinely starting to get a little bit panicky. But I always do, to be fair. Every year at this time I do start to get panicky, and then something will happen, and I just hope that something is happen. To get Archie Gray for 40 million quid, I think was a great piece of business from Spurs.